Hi everyone, nice to meet you. I I think I got it right this time. I'm very well aware that um for the last two lives that I had, I've been screwing up my microphone. Thank you for coming. My name is Lucas Kim, and I talk about Disney and theme parks and other Disney related channel for on this section. So if you are interested in my live, please subscribe. It's Lucas and Disney. And then if you also want to, follow me on uh, X or Blue Sky, at Lucas. It's Lucas Kim for X, and then it's lucaskim.com on Blue Sky. Anyways, so quick things that I want to say because we just had a recent news about one of the creator of Disney Twitter community. Like, his name is Brett. You might know him as Schmoofy. He's very active Disney Twitter community right there, and has been always supportive among other creators so far. Um, Recently, he actually was diagnosed as extreme rare case of cancer, uh, known as nut carcinoma, that was growing and spreading in his lung and trachea, and then that was a very rare case. And he, he was really struggling through it, and then needed donations at the time, like the GoFundMe. But today, I just heard that recently he actually passed away today, and it's really heartbreaking and shocking. So I do, send my condolences to his family. I don't know him very well as much because I kind of joined in on the community like last year, and the only interaction I had with him at the time was like just like one or two engagement maybe. But regardless, I know that some of you might had some like disagreements, and some of the takes that he might have been like been upsetting for some of you, or maybe so you might have agreed with him. But at the end of the day, he loved the company, and he loved the theme parks, and shared, and he loved the magic that Disney usually gave, and just like all of you right there. And despite all the like, maybe there might have been political difference of opinions or whatever, but I think it is very respectful to show him our love, and condolences to his family, that we show the support for his family, that for the good looking future. And we want to thank the family for have him always be supportive of the company and the theme park as well. um Brett, I know that you're like far away somewhere. I don't know you very well, but I hope in heaven you will uh you know be able to share your love for theme park and everything. The reason I'm like, kind of like talking about this because like it's a little bit emotional for me because I lost a lot, my family's through cancer and all, starting terminal illness and stuff like that. So um when it comes down to losing family members, it's a little bit emotional for me. Despite that, I didn't know him too well. Like that goes the same for how I feel about when I lost heard the news about Asmongold, also known as Zach, from the like uh video game community. Like, he lost his father recently, and I kind of do feel bad for him because I actually watched his father on the stream before, and it was also kind of emotional for me too. Like, despite all the political differences, everything wise, I completely empathize his situation. um but yeah, anyways, let's try to like talk a little bit more positive things right now. Well, not technically positive, because as you know in the headline, we're gonna talk about Disney's loss of money. Like, money is like, I mean, ever since they fired Jimmy Kimmel, and then Michael Eisner like steps in and like speaks his mind about it. And recently Bob Iger's wife is now like going, like stepping away from Disney to like speak her freedom of speech kind of thing. I don't know what's going on exactly. Like I don't know what's when Bob Iger's mind. Obviously, there's a little bit way too many FCC's play that's going on right here, and no matter at the end of the day, when it comes down to like a multi-billion company that's like that's surrounded with like multiple shareholders and everything, it just becomes political. It just becomes political. Like you have to understand. Like it gets really political to a point that it becomes a problematic, and we don't even know with if this company is like siding with the left side or right side. That's how it goes. So now I'm gonna be sharing some screen with you, just exactly what's going on. So as you know, Disney has lost $3.87 billion overnight because of Jimmy Kimmel. Now, like the headline is like a little bit misleading. It's not, Jimmy Kimmel's not fault at here. Obviously, it's like it's kind of misleading. The reason why the headline just came up is because people legitimately cancel their subscription. And some people actually sold their shares. It's not big, but it's still, a lot of things have been affecting the company. The shareholders is not too much impact right there. It was $116 per share that went down to 113. A lot of people say that's a big deal, but at the end of the day, it's not that much of a big deal when it comes to the stock related. The shareholders have a different type of interest when it comes down to, and it's a little bit outside of the political. Usually a lot of people when they invest in Disney is either they love the company or it's because they know that the stock is not as like volatile comparing to Nvidia and Apple or Tesla and so forth. Like it doesn't go like suddenly up and then suddenly go down back and forth. It's not it's a the way I see it, it's somewhat of a stable stock. Disney has always been like that for many years. And a lot of people say, "Oh, it's like it's getting worse, it's not never going up." You have to understand that this, you know, Disney has never been volatile company when it comes down to stocks, and it always has been going up. But at the same time, when people always compare it between 2021 to now, a lot of stocks have went up during 2021, and then a lot of cryptos went completely up too. And then all of a sudden, eventually when 2022 hit, everything crashed down because that was 2020 to 2021 was the time when pandemic was happening and everyone was like volatile trading at the time. So we can't that was like a very unstable there's no stability or guarantee safety when you're investing in any type of company. So you have to kind of understand that. Now this loss is actually from cancellations of like subscribers, and it's also cancellations of reservations. It's also cancellations of like as I said, like like some like certain percentage is also from the shareholder selves. But right now, many celebrities such as Maya Ruffalo, Pedro Pascal, everyone are pretty much outraged about this situation, and everyone has a right to do so. It's like no matter how you see it, like even if you didn't like Jimmy Kimmel, that's perfectly fine. But it is a importance of freedom of speech being at risk here. Now, for those people who don't know, the what is it? Trey Parker and Matt Stone just announced that they just had they're gonna release the new South Park episode. Is not, and they said that no FCC were holding them from being or censorship is going to hold that from what's about to reveal. And they said that it has nothing to do with Charlie Kirk and whatsoever. Um, and they said that it's not going to stop them from whatever they're broadcasting. So which means is that they don't give a shit. They don't give a crap. They're just gonna go right at it, and you're gonna either like it or not like it, and that's up to you based on your political opinion. And good on them because like no government should stop you from speaking out of your minds on freedom of speech. No um no political party should stop you from doing whatsoever. It is just solid, and I really mean by it. And everyone like who whether it's you were left or you were right, it doesn't matter. The freedom of speech has while there's a consequences, but at the same time, the consequences does not mean like completely shutting down and canceling and so forth. Like, and I've said the same thing. Like for those people who like grift and who do like shares hate speech, I get that you want to put up a YouTube video or go on Rumble or Kick if that's what you want. Go for it. But I don't think But the way I see it, like the true justification is that um demonetizing is like the best way to do so for to punish some people someone instead of violence or even like ruining their channel and so forth. Because at the end of the day, it is a freedom of speech. And I kind of I a little bit I had a little disagreement at the time when I talked with OG55 and Disney Italian George during D23 Expo. I had a different opinion about it. At the time, I was like, you know what, these people kind of need to be punished. Like, it's okay to cancel channel, but the more I think about it, it like after I see Jimmy Kimmel's perspective, I do realize that I'm a little bit hypocritical about this, and I do think that that time that I was thinking should not be the same thing that it should be led differently. And I think that they should have the right to speak whatever they mind, as long as they don't get monetized for it. That's pretty much it. I have a different opinion than comparing to everyone else about it. Anyway, so let's kind of talk about the other one because this I don't know about you, but as you know, Stan Lee experience will be at LA Comic Con. But this is actually a bad news. A lot of people are say, "Oh, I'm excited." No, you should not be excited. You should be upset about it. You know why? Here, fans will be able to speak with the hologram at the Stanley Experience section of the con, a 1,500 square foot enclosed booth, which costs between $15 and $20 to enter, depending on whether you buy tickets ahead of time. And like meeting a celebrity or getting autographs, there will be paid opportunities to take photos with the hologram and have a 3-minute one-on-one conversations with it. Guess what? This is not this is not a like some actor behind the screen. This is an AI. They're using Stanley's AI, and the Stanley Experience staff members are trying to tell people that, "Oh, you make sure that this is not going political, that, he only answers, that are actually like, that he will actually say." No, how do you know that? You don't know him. And, like a lot of what if somebody asks like him like ridiculous questions and then that becomes a big problematic issues. If like somebody actually says to Stanley, "Hey, do you hate like XYZ like type of people?" And then Stanley's like, "Oh, I don't think, like my opinion is like that, but like whatever you say, I guess I'll go kind of support it." What if the AI says that? Like, what are you gonna do with it? Somebody might have recorded on the TikTok experience and then be like, "Oh, Stanley says XY, certain XYZ people are the big problem, so therefore it must be right." This is the same situations that's gonna happen with Walt Disney in the future when the Disney company decides to like a AI hologram of Walt Disney right there, and somebody asks us like, "Hey, Walt, I have a question. Would you have supported the idea of, re- you know, removing Splash Mountain and the or Rivers of America?" And Walt Disney like AI suddenly like even though you're not supposed to ask that question, like the AI can be anything. AI doesn't have cognitive thinking. So AI might say, um, I'm not quite sure, but since you don't like supporting the idea of Splash Mountain being removed, I guess I like to keep the magic and memories of uh that rise. So therefore, I support you for. Splash Mountain not being removed, and you know, like, or something like a Space Mountain not being removed, or even like, I don't think we should have, you know, guy working at the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, something like ridiculous like right wingers might actually say something like that. That's like that sort of thing. Like, how would you feel about that? And then somebody recording that on TikTok and trying to prove a point. It's like say, "Hey, you see that? Walt agrees with me." No, like this is outrageous for me. Like I don't understand. Like who gave this idea to allow like allow this? I don't understand that. And like to you have to understand right here. Nobody should agree to this. Like I don't want people to like take advantage of Stan Lee. I have to tell you something. Stan Lee is this like leftist, or like he was very supportive of LGBTQ, and he is very supportive of diversity, and some people might quote DEI or woke. He always has been like that. And then also a lot of people always say like Spider-Man and Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and Miles Morales is Miles Morales. Guess what? Stanley's the one who created Miles Morales. Well, at least like he is one of those people who supported the idea of Miles Morales, and then said that like he is allowed to be a Spider-Man. The man created Spider-Man. He was not against about Miles Morales. He was very profound about it. He was very happy to supporting it. So when people say, "Oh, this is this," and like Stanley would have never said that. No, that's not true. Like, and this is the biggest fear that people should always know. AIs don't have cognitive thinking. AIs can't really make their own right decision. They are programmed to whatever you ask for them to do, and then they are programmed whatever you ask them to, what you want to hear. So usually, when it comes down to like the XS Grok created by Elon at the time, it's the same situation. Gr If you ask certain message to Grok, "Hey, is this right?" kinda thing, obviously Grok is gonna, like, favor your, question and then try to say, like, to make you want what you wanna hear. But and then at the same time, like, some other person will, like, say, like, use the actual Grok, and it's like, "Do you actually agree with this?" And the Grok might say, "No." So the other person might say, "Hey, Grok said this, so, like, which is it?" Same goes for ChatGPT, same goes for, whatever you're using. Like, at the end of the day, AI has no cognitive thinking. It has no reasoning. So, therefore, it becomes a problematic at the end of the day. And when if somebody actually, like, goes there to LA Comic Con, please, for the love of God, do not pay 15 to $20 to enter, and then try to, like, interact with this AI. If you wanna try to experiment it, then that's fine, but you should not support it. It's an insult, and it's, disrespectful to, Stan Lee. And I know many other people will definitely, like, create a video, "Hey, I interacted with AI Stan Lee and see what he says." That's gonna happen, and I'm not gonna, like, kinda intrude you on it, but, I don't wanna hear you say, "This is a great idea," because I will say that you're out of your mind. The next, news that we're about to have is actually none other than the recent, Epic Universe Stardust Racers, um, tragedy. And, this is actually from Karen Irwin, the CEO of the Epic Universal Park right there. So, "Dear team members, in my 35 years with Universal, a few moments have been difficult as this one. As you may know, on Wednesday evening, a guest was unresponsive after riding Stardust Racers at Epic Universe, was transported to the hospital, and later sadly passed away. Our hearts are with our guest families, loved ones, and with all of you who have been impacted by this tragic loss. I want to express my deepest gratitude to you, our team members, for the resilience, compassion, and professionalism you have shown. I'm proud of the way you supported one another and our guests while carrying out your responsibilities with care and excellence during an incredibly hard moment. Our internal findings to date confirm that the ride systems function as intended. Equipment was intact at the right start throughout the duration of the ride. Upon the ride's vehicle returned to the station, Our team members follow procedures. The attraction remains closed as we continue to work through a comprehensive review process in cooperation with the right manufacturer of record. Safety is and always be at the forefront of everything we do. In the days ahead, please be mindful that this is an ongoing investigation. I ask that you continue to support each other and remember emotional support resources are available for you both in person and virtually. Thank you for our living values and the commitment you bring to our guests and each other, especially in a moment like this. Together, we will continue to move forward with compassion, care, and professionalism. With appreciation and care, Karen Ehrman. Wow. Um, I have no words for it because I mean it is a professional like press release type of letter right here, and it's called a damage control letter. The way I see it, there's no actual like obviously when you're supposed to s- show condolence for the family. Obviously, this is the type of letter that you usually see. Same situations that happened with the tragedy at the Walt Disney World when the kid was like, died at the Grand Floridian Resort, lake at the Seven Lagoon Lake right there. Same situation. So, um, I will say that it is as professional as it gets for the letter. Whether it's passionate or like showing compassion and empathy, I will let you decide on how you wanna see it, but the way I see it is as compassionate and empathy you're gonna ever get for, uh, this incident, especially from CEO of the part who knows? Like, we don't even know if the CEO actually, like, wrote this. It might be somebody's, a press release, and she just signed it, but, you have to understand, like the 4th paragraph, I think it's like the 4th paragraph, was it the 4th paragraph or the 5th paragraph? Our says, "Our internal findings to date confirm that the RISE system's function is intended." So which means is that they're like, "Nope, nothing to see here. Everything is perfectly fine. This person's, health issues, not really ours." You know, but, at the end of the day, like, will be their wake up call right now. To make sure everything's working fine, and then make sure that nothing will like this will happen again. Now, who knows what's gonna happen? Stardust Racers. If there's another incident where somebody gets injured or somebody dies, and the Stardust Racer like has another record or so within a year or two, this ride is like guaranteed to shut down or in the future. I don't know, but as of right now, they're gonna probably put on double watch and make sure that all the guests are pretty much healthy and safe. And I've seen some creators out there are trying to say that, "Oh, you guys are pansies. Like, the ride is fine. This person was disabled. And like you should have known that. Like, if you're disabled, you should not be going on this thing." Yeah, but you know, he died. You should feel a little bit sorry for it instead of calling people pansy. And I just still don't think that way. Um, but yeah, so if you I'm just gonna say this, if you have any particular health issues such as like heart issues, or you are like you're pregnant, or I'm pretty sure that the guideline says that, like, if you have any health issues, please don't write it. And I'm still gonna say to you exactly the same thing too. If you have health issues, please consider not writing intense roller coaster rides. Like, it's not worth it. It's not worth of you dying for it. Like, if you wanna ride it and make sure that you are perfectly healthy, go to a doctor and make sure, do like a full screening if you need to. And then if the doctor says, "Hey, you're perfectly fine, you have no cardiac issues, to ride this," by all means. But, but keep in mind, if you're also like the type of person who faints really, really fast, I would also advise you to not go on this type of ride either. It's not as like most of the rides like that kind of like move back and forth, like looking like left and right, left and right. um, and you're the type of person who faints easily, that's not good for you either. Like I always tell people, like the people who faint easily and then on a very rough roller coaster rides, I don't think they should be riding these because it's just for their just for their concern for their health. But but I'm pretty sure somebody like is gonna like probably watch this video and it's like, you can't tell me what to do. Well, I can't tell you what to do, but you know, I care for your safety is my concern. I don't want to be the creator to say, "Hey, this ride is perfectly fine." Like there's no problem with this ride. It's just this person's issue. You should not have any issues. No, I don't want to say that. I want to say that if you have a health issues, take consideration of like and think twice before you ride it. If you're not unsure, then at least read people's reviews or watch like a perspective of the ride or something, and then just go from there. Like somebody died, and I think that should be like a kind of a awareness that you should really double check on what you do when it comes down to rides. Okay, now the next one. So we're gonna talk about Zootopia 2. Um, as you know, Zootopia 2 is coming soon, or pretty much soon, and the director Jared Bush kind of like discussed and then like responded to one of the fan of Zootopia and a Zootopia 2 hype community on X. And then the username is Cheesecake, and it says, "I'm being brutally attacked by the notifications because Bush replied to me, hashtag Zootopia 2 and Zootopia." So what happened was like this is a little bit interesting part right here because Jerry Bush would not really be talking too much about the late Zootopia news because he obviously he's a director. He wants you to find out yourself, how this movie is going to be, and everyone's like kind of like having speculations and everything, and then all of a sudden this cheesecake. Hi guys, what is up? Uh, like I guess like this person kind of like speculated something. Let me just kind of like. Hold on a second. Did this person kind of like disappear or what? Hold on. Okay. I on the username. Hold on a second. Uh okay, so here it is. Here it is. Let's see. I'm gonna copy and paste. And I will move this and this. Jared, I cannot keep waiting. Feed us some Zootopia 2 news for us to brainstorm. And Jared Bush says, sure, I'm traveling to New York to debut some new footage there. So I typically have more time to share info when I'm on planes. So stay tuned. Oh, we aren't even halfway through our cast announcements. We're about to like have this movie coming soon pretty fast, and then this one like kind of like blew up a little bit. Everyone's like, what does this mean? What do you mean by that? And then he decided to like put a image of Yamcha like dead right there. I can barely attack and notice because Bush replied to me, and Jared Bush is like, sorry about those notices. It's good that I didn't mention Zootopia 2 will be featuring Nick's apartment for the first time. Is located in a place we want to use in the first film, but didn't have time to show, and now has a nod to Zootopia Land in Shanghai. What does that mean by that? Like Shanghai Disneyland? Does that mean that we're gonna actually have physical Nick's apartment layout in Zootopia Land in Shanghai Disneyland? That's crazy. That's really crazy. That means that they like Jared Bush like didn't even want to give a green light, and it was like, hey guys, listen up. I don't want to show this land right. I don't want to show this apartment right now because it was never in the first movie. Like, it was supposed to be deleted scene. We're not gonna even put it in the deleted scene. Let's just hold this. Like, I want everyone to guess like Nick is a like homeless person for the first movie. And keep in mind, Nick. I kind of had a feeling that Nick might be like living in like a big house or mansion or something because this guy had a scene where he tells Judy Hopps, it's like I make huge amount of money and I don't it's I don't have to worry about everything. Like, I make more money than you as police officer. And this is just like a kind of like a hobby thing, and you don't even know what I'm doing. It's called hustle. And then like Judy Hobbs is like, okay, thanks for telling me all that. Now I'm gonna file you to the IRS of Zootopia. So I have a feeling that like his apartment was going to be either great or like he just had like a small shady apartment, but like has like a hidden cash all over the place. And keep in mind, he has not paid a single taxes for and for Zootopia IRS until he got caught by Judy. So which means that ever since he joined the police force, he's probably starting to pay the taxes and filing taxes and everything. But like this kind of shows that like he's not a homeless person. Everyone's like pretty much going crazy, and they're like the homeless allegations are pretty much gone. And here we go. As you can see, he filed 1040 as a Topiaris. And he has a house. It's a 1955 Cypress Grove Lane Zootopia. And you can see his social security number. I don't know if this is real, but like apparently like somebody kind of leaked this. I don't know what. Like it was like kind of like on the random Discord. I can't really tell you, but I saw it on the Discord. I was like, oh, this is pretty wild, like Nicholas P level of wild. And right there, and then on the bottom right screen, as you can see, I guess there was supposed to be a scene where this basement. For those people who do not know that basement, it has almost similarity to when Nick was young and got bullied by the Boy Scouts right there, um, or what is it, like the Rangers or something like that. It's like a same type of setting right there, and I guess he lives in the basement, sleeping on top of the drawer, and then happens to hit the pipe a couple of times. And this was like 2014 concept. So, with the courtesy of the artist Serrano, they had like a concept perspective right there, and this was going to be his apartment that he was going to reveal in the like a delete, I guess, like formerly setup screen. And Jerry Bush was just like, nah, we're not going to put that in. So nobody actually knows what his apartment is going to look like. And I assure you, it might be an actually nice looking house. And he's been like keeping it quiet from Judy for a long time, even when they become partners and friends. And I think like one of the things that is like she's getting frustrated is probably to do with she's always like kind of like justice and everything must be done correct kind of thing. And then she probably like was like, hey Nick, how come you never invite me to your place kind of thing. And then Nick is like, I'm not gonna tell you what about it. And then I think that leads to a little bit one of those reasons that she and him are having like probably therapy sessions. But I always love Zootopia too. So when if Zootopia 2 actually comes to like the theaters, and then I really hope that Zootopia Land ever comes into either Disneyland or Walt Disney World parks. This has always been an issue because Walt Dis people somehow don't like Zootopia Park in the American community. I don't know why. There, people have been always saying like this doesn't belong in this park, this doesn't belong in that park. It just like keeps happening. But at the end of the day, guess what happened? Like Zootopia is like in Disney's Animal Kingdom, like replacing the. It's tough to be a bug, and like, and that didn't really bring like a happy response, but it's still happening. So are we like actually going to see more Zootopia stuff in the park in the future? Because that's what it seems like. If you can see, if you look at it, like Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde mascots are actually coming to Disney Park, like Disney's Animal Kingdom. So that means is that they really want to phase over the part that they want to like start bringing Zootopia right there into the Animal Kingdom park, and that's not gonna be like a happy response from the people who really loved Disney Animal Kingdom like and Joe Rohde's designs right there. It kind of like destroys their immersive like I can actually see that right there because it was all about nature and all of a sudden you're having like some metropolis like taking over um the half of the park. Like I understand that concept and I really do, and some people already are not very happy about Tropical America's coming in with the Encanto and so forth and Indiana Jones. So it makes perfect sense that they're not happy, but at the end of the day, I guess it's like a company's direction, I guess. At the at for a time, people actually didn't like the idea of having Pandora into the park too. And then at the end of the day, they still have Pandora, and people change their minds and they say, "Oh, this like looks amazing." They were praising Joe Rody, praising James Cameron, they're praising the Imagineers for making such an amazing place. Now, speaking about the amazing Pandora area, they ended up like having um like some of the waters are not like flowing properly and then they're having molds or like moss is like growing and the algae is growing into the like the water place. And one of the creator was like saying that he's not sure why that's happening. I don't think it has to do with the budget issue. I don't think it has to do with like Disney doesn't like water or anything like that. I think something might have happened, so they shut down the water. So they're working on it, maybe. But at the end of like you have to understand, they're using so much like gallons of water every time when they do something, especially with the Pandora. Having the water fall from the like the sky right there, and then like having all these like fountains like waters and all sort of like functions right there. So eventually, like you have to, if you close down one part of that water, you have to like work on the entirety of it. So you have to kind of understand, like this stuff happen. What are you gonna do? But anyways, yeah. Y- at the end of the day, like no matter how you see it, like Zootopia has to come eventually. It's bound to happen. It's bound to like come into the park and it's bound to um people established in somewhere like maybe Disney's Hollywood Studios, who knows, or Epcot or Magic Kingdom. It's still part of a big IP series getting a second sequel, and then if this does well, and then this might have a third sequel, it might have four sequels, nobody knows. As long as the rates are good, and then as long as the like like the box office is successful, Disney will like keep honeyduking sequels after sequels. And I know that like some of the sequel, I'm getting tired of some of the sequels, but it's just how it is. You can't really like stop what they want to do. And that is also the reason why we're seeing Frozen 3. Who would have thought? I actually thought Frozen 2 was the last one because like, Elsa decides to remain outside of Arendelle and like to learn more about her and her skills and her mom by being part of like the other group right there, and then Anna has decided to become the queen of Arendelle by marrying um and Kristoff. So I thought that was like a happy ending and that was the ending of the series, but now we're seeing Frozen 3. So like I said, and you have to understand, Frozen 2 box office was like pretty crazy. I don't how much was the box office was it again? Uh, Frozen 2 box office was actually $1.245 billion globally, with 477.3 domestically and 976.3 millions internally. This was a very high gross film. The budget was they like made so much money that like they can't even say the budget. Like the budget was like 150 million, and then you literally made like 10 times of that. That's crazy. Like Frozen, it's a sequel too. Most of the like the Disney animation sequels has been pretty unpopular and not that great. Um, I can tell list you a couple of things. Let's see. Like, what is it? Stitch 2 was pretty bad in the, animation. Um, Tarzan, also had, like, a sequel, I think, right? The Tarzan and Jane? That was pretty bad. Um, let's see, Cinderella 2, sequel was bad. Little Mermaid 2 was bad. Peter Pan 2 was bad. Like, you keep getting all these right here, and then a Wreck-It Ralph the sequel was pretty really, really bad. Ralph Breaks the Internet was, like, not what I expected. It was not supposed to happen like that. Oh, not to mention, while we understand Frozen 3 is supposed to come 2027, um, you know, it is bound to happen, but also Frozen 4 is supposed to happen. Like, how did this happen is my question. Like, how do we get from the first franchise, like first part, and then the second part, and then third and fourth of one title. And the Frozen is like pretty much their honeyduking series right now that I don't even know when it's gonna end. I like my biggest fear about Frozen right now is like if they consider making Frozen 10 or something, just like if this is like a Fast and the Furious movie. So I'm just like, oh, please don't do this. This is the last thing I want to hear of having like continuous sequel over and over again. There's no originality anymore. And we just like just sequel duking it and just to earn more money. I just hope this Frozen 4 is like the very last thing that we'll ever see, and I just don't want any more of that. Frozen 1 of 2 was the highest gross box office gross. Frozen was like the second, and then Moana 2 was the third, and as you know, Zootopia was the fourth. So anything out of the CGI animation that had the highest gross rating was actually The Lion King back in 1994 with like at least like 980 million dollars or something like that. What I don't understand is like Moana 1 was like 600, like just about $680 million, but Moana 2 was like $1 billion, and a lot of people tend seem to hate Moana 2 more than the first one. And then the biggest problem it had to do with the music. Like people have said Lin Manuel Miranda was like not going to be in working the movie because of the Mufasa, and a lot of people said Lin Manuel Miranda just like completely missed the biggest opportunity because they feel that Mufasa should have been done by somebody else and that he should have worked on the Moana too. I kind of agree to some points, mainly because um you know you have to understand the biggest movie money making movie could have been Moana to even more because of the music itself. Lin Manuel Miranda is a very talented composer and then music making person, and he's just like he nails it. He nailed Encanto. He nailed like almost every single songs are out there. So trying to make him do some a failed film like such as like Lion King, the first live action. So to work on Mufasa was technically the like a big mistake in my personal opinion. And he also did Vivo, right? Yeah, Vivo, for Netflix was actually good too. That was like a really good movie. That was not Disney though. That was from Netflix. And then he did Hamilton. I forgot he's the Hamilton himself, so I understand completely. But he does everything right, and he should. I personally feel that he should have done Moana 2 instead of the Mufasa. That's just me. Mufasa at the end of the day didn't do so well either. Like what was the box office worth for that one? It grossed up to $722 million worldwide. Um it's kind of funny because they were trying to compete against Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and Sonic the Hedgehog 3 completely destroyed uh what is it? The Lion King, Mufasa right there. Like with despite all the fact that like, you know, no, it actually made $492 million worldwide. So not as much. Okay. So I take that back. I actually thought the Sonic the Hedgehog third movie was pretty good, but obviously it didn't do so well for the box office. But like regardless, I watched Mufasa. It's not bad. It's much better than the first the original Mufasa live action. I mean the Lion King live action, but it still wasn't like good enough to deliver it as like 90% or something like that. So it's just like it's pretty crazy right there. Anyways, with the Zootopia coming in, I just hope that like we're not gonna eventually get to a point where we're gonna see Zootopia 4, but at the same time, as long as Zootopia movie does really well, the review is very good, and then the box office like just completely excuse me, beats uh, the Zootopia box office score as well as Frozen, we're gonna see more of that. We're gonna see more sequels. It's just bound to happen. And Moana 3 is gonna happen soon anyways. If anybody saw Moana 2, you know that the third one's gonna happen anyway. So like you're gonna see that. And who knows, we're gonna see Moana 4 and I'm gonna be like, oh, what's going on? It's kind of funny because I think they were originally trying to make Wreck-It Ralph 3, but Ralph Breaks the Internet was really bad that I think they just like completely decided to drop it. But I still kind of want to see Wreck-It Ralph sequel to come back just because I want more like a video game collab type of movie, just for the fun of it. It was very nostalgic for me. I still love Wreck-It Ralph. I love watching it. I love John C. Riley and Sarah Silverman, like talking about doing their characters, and it was very fun to watch. So, um, the reference of Cuber, reference of Sonic, reference of Pac-Man, Zangief from Street Fighter. Everything is just that great. It was all about video games. I feel like the breaks the internet should have had a better like reference like stuff right there, and they just completely missed it for whatever reason. Um, the character like that Gal Gadot was like playing was not really that great either. It was very like kind of the character didn't really have that much development of like a storytelling. Or rather, the cameo appearance of princesses had a better personality, a better, you know, like a story focus right there, and it just shows that. So I am gonna say I want to see more. Um, I won't say that I refuse to see more sequel. I will still watch it, but I want more originality. So that's why I'm like putting a lot of faith on Hex when it comes out. Um, and I do want to see a little bit more 2D animation in the future, just like Studio Ghibli, like with Miyazaki, or it works right there. The Boy and the Heron was a perfect example of what Disney could do to bring back the 2D animation to and make it popular again. I really want to see that happening in the future. So yeah, like that's pretty much it. Like there's not a lot of news regarding Disney right now. So they are still in talks of Jimmy Kimmel, ABC, and Bob Iger to see, what we can do to, like fix this like dramatic matter, and then bring back all like the former Disney Plus audience, that to see whatever they can repair this matter. And obviously, this has created a lot of damage for the company. A lot of people might say like that, just differently, but it is a big damage. It's not like just like $100 million damage. It's like a $4 billion damage, and it's less than 3 days since Jimmy Kimmel got fired. So the longer they keep like prolonging this, is gonna damage more. Like, it might be more than $4 billion eventually, and, so Bob Iger kinda really has to make the decision. Um, like, what is this company for is the question. Like, is this company for, are we talking about, like, is this company for Trump, or is this company for people who actually love the company and, who actually love supporting Jimmy Kimmel, or who actually love supporting the freedom of speech is the question. And then when I say freedom of speech, it's not like it's freedom of hate speech. It's more of like a freedom of comedy, a freedom of like um, speaking for the right thing. So in this case, like Disney has to do the right thing right there. That's just how I see it. Like no matter how you see it, like it's like me doing podcast right here. Like whatever me saying whatever I want to say is also part of the freedom of speech right there. Like with somebody like that I do not like it, like speaks on their podcast and whatever they want to say, that is their freedom of speech, or whatever they want to say. So like you have to kind of understand where are we going with this is the question. Is Bob Iger, please, 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 like, make the right decision, you know? You wanna, like, eventually give your hat to, whoever's gonna take this, CEO position, such as, like, Dana Wallen or Josh D'Amaro. Like, I don't care. I want you to, fix this. I want you to do the right thing. Like, who is this company for? Who is this, who are these parks and, like, movies and, entertainment for? Kinda have to ask yourself, like, is it more important to, like, please the president and then the, like, FCC, or is this more like a you should be pleasing for the people who consume this and, your products, who subscribe your products, who, like, pay for your parks and, like, the cruises and everything? Because I have something to share because, like, one of the person on TikTok decided to make a big deal out of it and then decided to, like, share their, uh story about how they're gonna boycott Disney park and stuff like that. Let's see. Where is that thing? Oh, here it is.
Disney cruise.
Canceling our Disney
Right
cruise.
now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4. We've got millions of free child place holidays available, with 22 kilograms of baggage included. Book now with Jet2 Holidays. Package holidays you can trust.
Glad I only paid the deposit.
Okay. So here's my response for this. Cool, good for you, kind of my response is right there. Uh, like every time when people decide to make a cloud of themselves, like, oh, hey, I don't like what you just did, Disney. So like, you can watch me cancel my subscription. That's my golf club. Like, I don't care. Like, while I support your cause of like why you're doing it, like at the same time, like half of these people, I don't understand what they're doing. Like, I feel like this is like for attention. I feel like this is like for like either rage bait or like can't like self like attention a little bit, and at the same time, um, you're not really doing it for political reasons. You're not really doing it for a good reasons. It just makes zero sense. I get that you canceled the cruise trip by just canceling the deposit, but why? Like, why would you share that to us? And I'm pretty sure a lot of people already might have done it outside of the social media screen, the way I'm seeing it right now. Um, you don't technically have to do it. Like to share to the whole world that you're canceling. I'm I had assumed that the moment that they canceled the 3.8 billion dollars of stuff like that, I I had a feeling that people might have canceled their trips and then cancel their cruises and so forth. So that's why it's really pointless of you doing that. It just feels like a massive clout, and you just want likes and views. If you want to do it like that way, fine. I respect your opinion. And if you really had that type of purpose of that you want to boycott because of Jimmy Kimmel, then I support it 100%. But if you're doing it for clout and not really care about what the company's direction is doing, then you are the problem of the situation. Now, if you look at the comments right there, the comments are pretty disgusting. Like if you look at it right there, it's just we don't Democrats going to Disney anymore. We're booking my trip ASAP, or even something about Gina Carano. Like, what does that have to do with Gina Carano? Like all these things right there were and also saw a comment where who someone canceled her 75,000 Disney wedding at Disney. Y'all are standing on our business. Thank you. Okay, I guess in a way, canceling your 75K wedding at Disney for a good purpose, I'm gonna respect it because if the Disney's not really giving you satisfaction with the way they're doing it right now, and Bob Iger's remaining silent and not really resolving the situation, I'm not gonna disagree about it too much because at the end of the day, you have a purpose right there. You know, you want to prove it that you want the company to be notified that this is a serious case. And you know what? In a way, $4 billion is a serious case. And I have a feeling that Bob Iger is really taking notes right now. He just doesn't want to talk about it publicly because he wants to see what is the best decision to fix this matter, bring back Jimmy Kimmel, and make everyone else happy. And he has to obviously talk about it in the press release or a shareholder meeting and say, "Hey, um, you know, all of you fans who have supported our company, you guys are right. I'm wrong. The company did a wrong thing to do to get Jimmy Kimmel fired. Should have never happened. Should have never been announced. I take full responsibility of that. Take a responsibility." Even Mike Eisner is really baffled about what just happened. Mark Hamill got baffled about what just happened. This is a serious matter. This is real. It's not just the last year's Nelson Pell situation. This is more. I feel like this is more of a bigger concern than Nelson Pell's, where the right wingers are boycotting Disney. I think this is a serious situation of the left and right both boycotting Disney and canceling subscriptions, canceling reservations, and selling stock shares. This is real, and Disney has to fix this. Like, I can't believe myself that I'm not siding with this. We have another big show person, and he also turned his back on Disney right now because you know, um, a lot of people said he's kind of a toxic person and for being way too extreme toxic positive person. But he turned his back on Disney right now, so it's just we're gonna see more of that soon. But yeah, I kind of don't want this to go any further about it because, you know, if this is not really fixed either, I might actually think about selling my timeshare only because like I just can't have the idea of uh you know of a company being uh, puppetized, and it's just disgusting, and I just don't really see it through. I've been very supportive about this company and defending this company in a way right there. So when I heard this news, I was pretty speechless. But yeah, I don't know. I just hope that like they break their silence by the end of this week or so, or at least like in one more week. That way, they can wrap things up and try to give it like a very positive news. Um, that's all I can say. So lastly, I know that I kind of brought a schmoofy as well again. For those people who missed out my first part of the statement, if you do look at this right now, please send your support and love for Schmoofy since he passed away and everything. Um, the family needs like all the love and the support and condolence sent to their family. Like they just lost their family members. Despite that, you might not have agreed with him on certain things. Whether it's politically or park opinions. But at the end of the day, he loved the park just like all of us. So please do send your good vibe and support for him. I do appreciate it, everyone. And I just noticed that a lot of people have like noticed my post about like my like, respectful urology right there. So I do appreciate all those 100 people who have like the comment, and for those people who have followed my account out of my pure respect for Shmoofy. Thank you so much. You're all amazing people. Despite all the political differences and so forth, you know, he, he's still one of us. Like loving the park, loving the company. Always wanted the good direction of the company of how whichever that we wanted it. At the end of the day. And I do appreciate everyone doing that. Anyways, tonight is a little bit. I'm gonna end the podcast a little bit early because there's nothing much to talk about. I think I covered everything today, um, and I'll probably talk a little bit more about in the future, like park news related. So, if you haven't subscribed to me, please subscribe to the channel below. If you don't know where my social media accounts are, my Instagram. I just started my Instagram. It's called Real Lucas Kim right there. You can follow me there, and then also follow me on the It's Lucas Kim on X, and then Blue Sky, lucaskim.com. So you can find me either of them there. I If you're not a big person of the X or Twitter because of the like whole like chaos that's going on right now, I highly recommend you to try at least looking at Threads or Blue Sky. They're much healthier section when like outside of political zone too much. You can kind of filter those easily on the Blue Sky better than X right there. So be sure to check that out. And thank you for stepping by and then watching this podcast. I've noticed that I actually had 6 people watching it, so I do appreciate you coming along. Hope to see you another time soon. Thank you.